If you've been looking at your website lately and thinking, this just isn't working the way I want it to, let me encourage you with something right away. You probably do not need to rebuild your whole website. You may need to improve it, you may need to clarify it, and you may need to strengthen a few key areas. But sometimes you do not need to start all over. And today, I want to show you how to use AI to help improve your website in practical ways without it turning into a giant project. By the end of this, you're going to know how to use AI to make smart, focused improvements to your website without feeling like you need a full redesign, a brand new platform, or a complete rewrite. You'll always have a simple way to decide what to fix first so you can build momentum instead of overwhelm. This is where a lot of business owners get stuck. They know something feels off about their website. Maybe the message isn't clear. Maybe the call to actions aren't strong. Maybe it feels outdated or it's not converting. And because there are so many possible things to change, they jump to the conclusion that they need an entirely new website and that's just too much. They don't want to deal with it right now. But that isn't always true. Sometimes the issue is not to the whole website, it is a handful of weak spots that are keeping the website from doing its job. And this is one of the ways AI can be incredibly helpful. It can help you identify what actually needs attention so you stop guessing and start improving. Now, before we go any further, let me give you the same reminder I've shared throughout this series. Pre-bake the oven. If you want ChatGPT or whatever AI program you use to help you improve your website well, please give it context first. Take the time to do this. Tell it what your business does, who you serve, what action you want people to take, what page you're reviewing, what your voice should sound like, and what part of the page may feel weak or unclear to you. Because AI is much more useful when you guide it well. It is not here to replace your voice or your strategy, it is here to help strengthen them. So, today I want to walk you through a simple way to improve your website using AI without completely rebuilding the site. We're going to focus on 5 areas AI can help you improve: your messaging, your headlines, your call to action, your trust building content, and your customer clarity. And the reason I want to frame it this way is because improvement does not have to mean complete overhaul. Sometimes improving one page changes a lot more than you may think. So let's start with step 1. Use AI to identify what is actually weak. So before you start to change things, you need to know what really needs to be fixed. This is where a lot of people waste time. They start rewriting random sections, changing colors, moving things around, or talking themselves into a complete redesign when they have not actually identified the problem. AI can help you slow down and evaluate the page first. You can paste in a page from your website and say, review this page and tell me what feels unclear, weak, outdated, or ineffective from a first time visitor perspective. Focus on messaging, trust, and next steps. That kind of prompt helps you diagnose before you start editing. And that matters because the goal is not to make random changes. The goal is to make the right changes. One of the reasons AI is so useful here is that it has no attachment to the page. It does not know what you meant to say, it only knows what is actually there. So if the page feels confusing, thin, or incomplete, AI will often surface that quickly. Okay, step 2. Use AI to improve your messaging, not replace it. Once you know what is weak, the next step is to improve the message. This is a big one because a lot of websites do not necessarily have bad design. They have unclear wording. The headline is too vague. The introduction is too long. The service description is too general. The message sounds nice, but it does not help the visitor understand what the business actually does. That is something AI can help with very well. You can ask, rewrite this headline so a first time visitor immediately understands what this business does and who it helps. Or help me simplify this section so it is clearer, warmer, and easier to understand. This is a very different use of AI than saying, rewrite my whole website. And that difference really does matter because AI should support your voice, not take over your voice. The goal is not to sound more polished for the sake of just being more polished. The goal is to sound more clear. If this episode is helping you rethink how you approach your website, make sure you're following AI Simplified. This month, we're walking through practical ways to use AI to elevate and improve your website without making it more complicated than it needs to be. Let's move on to step 3. Use AI to strengthen headlines and calls to action. Sometimes the fastest improvements you can make are also the simplest. Your headline may not be doing enough work. Your button text may be too vague. Your call to action may not clearly tell someone what to do next. And what happens, even a good website can underperform. This is one of the easiest places to use AI. You can paste in a headline and ask, give me 3 clearer versions of this headline that explain what I do and who it's for. Or suggest 5 stronger calls to action options for this page based on the goal of getting someone to schedule a consultation. That kind of prompt can help you quickly improve the parts of your website that guide behavior. Because sometimes the page does not need a complete rewrite. It needs a stronger first sentence, a better button, a clearer next step, and those are often much smaller fixes than people expect. Okay, step 4. Use AI to spot missing trust builders. Another area where websites often need improvement is trust. Sometimes a page explains the service, but it does not reassure the visitor. There's no testimonial, no example, no explanation of what happens next, no proof that this business is experienced, reliable, or a good fit. And when trust is missing, people hesitate. This is another place where AI can help. You can ask, what trust building elements are missing from this page? Is it testimonials, FAQs, proof points, or reassurance statements that could help a first time visitor feel more confident? That prompt is helpful because it gets specific. Instead of vague thinking, this page needs something, you can start to see what that something might actually be. And again, this does not mean rebuilding the whole entire website. It may mean adding a testimonial, clarifying your process, writing a short FAQ, or explaining what happens after someone contacts you. Those are improvements, not complete overhauls. All right, here we go to step 5. Use AI to improve one page at a time. This may be the most important part of this whole discussion. Do not try to fix the whole website in one day. This is how overwhelm wins. Pick one page that matters. Maybe your home page, maybe your main service page, a contact page, the page where people seem to drop off the most. Then let AI help you work through that page one section at a time. Ask what is unclear. Ask what questions are unanswered. What call to action is weak. What trust signals are missing. How to make the message more useful for a real customer. One of the things I love about this approach is that AI lets you improve your website without needing to be very technical. You do not need to know coding. You do not need to know advanced design language. You do not need to rebuild the whole entire website from scratch in one day. You just need a better process for evaluating what is already there. And AI can absolutely help you do that. Now, if your website feels messy or outdated right now, please take a minute to remember this does not automatically mean it needs a complete rebuild. Sometimes we assume the answer is starting over because that feels cleaner in our minds. But often, what actually creates progress is making focused improvements to what already exists. That is a much more sustainable way to work. And honestly, it is often a much more affordable one, too. This is one of the reasons I love using AI in this way. Not because it makes everything instant, but because it helps you stop spiraling and start identifying what matters most. It gives you a place to begin, and beginning matters. So here's what I would like you to do this week: choose one page on your website that you know could be stronger. Open ChatGPT or whatever software you like to use. Paste in that page and ask, what feels weak here? What is unclear? What would help this page build more trust? What should be improved first? And what can I fix without rebuilding this page? Let AI help you identify the small improvements that can make a big difference. Just remember, you might not necessarily need to rebuild your whole website because it's not performing the way you want it to. You may simply need to improve it with more clarity, stronger direction, and better support for the people visiting it. And AI can help you do that, not by replacing your judgment, but helping you see what is worth fixing first. Because better websites are not always built from scratch. Sometimes they are improved one thoughtful step at a time. Just remember, as I always say, done is better than perfect. Just start by taking the first step.